Welcome to the Rockaway Creates Connection podcast.
Are you ready to embark on a journey that celebrates the power of creativity, community, and transformation? We are thrilled to introduce you to the heart and soul of Rockaway Beach through our community stories. Brought to you by Rockaway Creates, a nonprofit dedicated to the peninsula and its people.
Nestled on the shores of the Atlantic, we are New Yorkers coming to you from Rockaway Beach, Queens. Each episode will take you on an exploration of its remarkable community, delving into the lives and stories of local artists, entrepreneurs, activists, and visionaries who breathe life into our beloved neighborhood. Whether you're a longtime local or just down for the day, this podcast promises to be a source of insight, secrets, and connection.
So get ready to be inspired, and you can go to rockawaycreates.org to learn more about us and how you can get involved. And if you like this podcast, please like it, binge it, and share it with your friends.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to welcome PJ Seaswater. And PJ has been someone that I have spoken to many times and heard about a lot during my life here in Rockaway. Let me tell you a little bit about him. PJ is a man that has been taught many things about curiosity from his parents, and he would like to extend that wisdom to his kids and others. There are pictures of PJ and his dad on their travels to Benin Africa. He has followed in his father's footsteps around the world and watched his career in marine life. And now he shares those experiences with others to keep his dream and legacy alive while carving a passion-driven career for others that have dreams to travel and inspire others. With bringing awareness to people about what nature has to offer if you put yourself out there. Gotham Whale has the grassroots of getting everyday people to look to the waters for identifying what is out there in citizen science. The genesis of his dad's vision to get people to report to people in the field to document their findings and create publications that can change policies. So thank you so much for being here, PJ. And I feel like I always mess up your name.
That's okay. Everybody does. So it's Seaswater, and it's Dutch name and from the Netherlands. So
awesome. I did not know that. That's really cool.
Another fun fact.
Yeah, I used to live in Amsterdam, so interesting. Like, it's funny how these weird connections are made. But yeah, your dad told me. He knew I used to go to Amsterdam all the time.
I'm actually going to be stopping over in Amsterdam on Sunday, early Sunday morning. I'm flying out to Budapest.
Oh, awesome!
So I'll be stopping in Amsterdam, which I've never been there before, so I can check that box.
Yeah, it's great. It's so beautiful, and there's so many things to do. And yeah, it was one of my favorite places.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not going to stay there long, but that's a trip for another time.
Yeah, there are so many things to see. Like I went for the first time with my mother, my aunt, and my uncle, and we had a blast for like a week, and then I ended up going back there several times, and then I was actually there when COVID hit, and that's when I lived there because I just couldn't leave for a couple of months.
Awesome.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about Gotham Whale and what you guys do and where you service, and also tell the audience a little bit about your father.
So yeah, there's a lot of topics there. So a little bit about my dad and the origin of Gotham Whale is my father was in marine life throughout his whole life, and he started his career at the New England Aquarium up here in Boston. And that's where I'm from, if you can't tell by my accent, parking cars and whatnot. But he started at the New England Aquarium, and took his career down to the aquarium down in Coney Island, and finished out the rest of his career down there, doing all sorts of fun stories that I grew up understanding. He went out and hunted, not hunted walruses, but brought walruses back to the aquarium and different stuff like that, and was very entwined with educating people on marine life and nature and all that. So in his retirement, he started Gotham Whale, getting people to get involved with citizen science. And citizen science is anybody that has that curiosity in nature and just looking out and trying to observe things. He found that it was good to get people involved to help bring awareness. And that citizen science is what Gotham Whale was striving to get connected with the public and the community to understand what whales were doing around the New York area. And that was kind of a pop-up that happened around 2009. Whales weren't really prevalent in the area, and they started observing whales due to, he went out on the water to count seals with a vessel, the American Princess, right out of Rockaway.
Yeah.
And so with that, he was doing something similar to the bird count that they do for counting birds in the area, and he would have people document what they saw on the water for seals, and he had a seal count. And the seals count ended up getting sidebar because the big animals started showing up, which is whales. And so in 2011, there were 3 individual sightings that now to date, we have just approaching 400 individual whales that we've observed in the New York Bight.
That's amazing. And the way that you tell the difference between the whales or their tails, is that how you know you have individuals, or how does it work?
That is a great question. And yes, that's primarily the way they identify whales is by their whale tail. And so their tails have an imprint of almost like birthmarks or different identifying marks that you can look at, similar to a fingerprint, that they have their own markings. And so what our scientists do is we match those pictures that people send in, whether it's from whale watching boats such as the American Princess and other vessels that we work with, which is boats down in New Jersey. We have the Jersey Girl, Little Miss Belmar, and then Atlantic Pearl up in the Long Island area. So we've been affiliating ourselves with different vessels that help us collect this data, but we also get it from just citizen science people walking on the beach. And if they get a good picture, they can send it in to us, and we can match it to our catalog and see if that is a new sighting. And if it is a new sighting, then we catalog it.
That's amazing. So if someone is strolling along the boardwalk in Rockaway or Breezy Point and they see a whale, can they just take pictures on like their phone? How does it work?
That's a great question. And yes, with today's technology, and this is why it's all intertwines with the data points. So our phones have GPS coordinates and all that nowadays. So it makes it a little bit, not a little bit, it makes it very accurate of that picture is a freeze frame in a place and time that animal was observed. And if we identify that animal, then we can know that it was at that long in latitude, and what it is we observed it doing, whether it was feeding, whether it was just hanging out. So there's a lot of information that comes from that interaction with the community.
Wow. And so where do they send it? And how do they reach out to you?
That's we can be reached at gothamwhale.org, and we have what a program we call the Wanted program, and that's a program that my father instituted, which engaged people to get involved. And so he aligned it almost like, somebody that was wanted by the law type of thing. So you have the little bars and stuff with the whale behind it. But he did an incentive program, which is a cute story that transpired a whole mass of people looking at whales down in New Jersey. So um, a gentleman, Bill McKim, down in New Jersey, he basically was taking pictures like anybody could do there at Rockaway, and be a citizen, and then get involved and send us the information. And the program that my dad had was a thing where you get a free beer if it was a new sighting. So the flagship brewery over there in Staten Island said that if any new sightings, you could get a free beer. And so that was a little incentive for people to send their pictures and get involved. And so that guy started a conversation with Dad. He says, "I'm not driving all the way up there to get a free beer. I'm just gonna do my own thing." And he started a business out of it. So that was an amazing, you know, thing that spawned out of just a conversation and an idea that now there's, thousands of people out there looking for whales.
That's awesome. So, anyone listening right now in Rockaway, if you own a bar or a brewery,
Yeah.
come talk to Gotham Whale. Maybe you can do like a little partnership and have people out there looking for whales in our waters.
That's the other thing that Gotham Whale is, very proud to do, is creating partnerships, and very thankful for you reaching out at a time that it was well needed, after Dad's passing, and the you guys wanted to honor Gotham Whale, and wanted to show your support to Gotham Whale, which was near and dear to my heart after losing Dad in December. Coming out to Rockaway Creates and going to your gala was just amazing experience for me, and heartwarming in the fact that you loved what was going on with Gotham Whale. So that was precious, and I took a lot out of that myself.
Awesome. And so, with Rockaway, what are the different programs that you run here for people to get involved?
That's a great question. And with Dad's departure and the leadership of Gotham Whale, that's what we're looking to do, is create partnerships and understand what can spawn out of it. So, one of the things that I'd like to see is more, community engagement, and looking for myself or our network of people to get into the Rockaway community and be a staple. And so that's what we're looking to engage with, how we can have a symbiotic relationship that we can, work together and find new partnerships. And so that's anyone looking to have a creative idea. And that's what I love about Rockaway Creates, is I'm a big fan of the arts. And that was one of my takeaways that I came out of that gala, is you guys are just so much into the arts and how to tap into that vein of creativity, and anything can be created out of such good conversations like this.
Yeah. And are you guys still doing whale watching tours in Rockaway?
So we are, see, that's what we are, not a whale watching tour organization. We're an organization that has education, we advocate, we do research. So we affiliate ourselves with different vessels, and right there in Rockaway is the American Princess, and Captain Tom and Captain Frank have been there throughout Gotham Whale's start, and we have a great partnership with them, and we work together on bringing people to their boat so they can enjoy the experience and get out there and see what nature has to offer.
Yeah. So how often does the American Princess go out? If somebody wanted to book and become a citizen scientist, how do they do that?
So they can do it two ways. They can go to the American Princess website, and I believe the American Princess goes out 3 times a week in the summer. I think it's like Wednesday, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. So that's 4 times actually. My math is a little bit off, but I'm learning how many times the vessels are going out. But what Gotham Whale is looking to move towards is maybe getting a partnership that we could charter the boat ourselves and get more revenue towards American Princess, so we could charter the boat and get people that we want to get out there, as opposed to just people from the community, families and whatnot, that have that capability of just going out on the boat anytime they want when they're sailing.
Yeah. So what are the kind of people that you're looking for to engage and partner with? Are you for, marine biologists? Are you looking for just everyday people that love ocean conservation? Like who is your target?
My target, and this is my personal target, is anyone with a pulse. you anybody, because what I've realized is we're all people, and I think from my standpoint, getting on the water has a lot of benefits with your soul and with your mental clarity, and that doesn't need to be a special person, whether it's a marine biologist or any type of genre of different people that we're looking to target. I say anybody that it has the love or the sea legs, so you do have to be mindful of the fact that some people do get seasick and are afraid of the water. But if you're not that person, I think anybody that wants to experience, and this is another thing that Gotham Whale wants to do, is get New Yorkers to understand that there are whales right out, in Rockaway and right out their skyline, which there is so many people that do not know. And they don't know because they're not involved. And the only way to find that out is to get involved and, listen to, podcasts like this, or just understand what's out there.
Absolutely. And what I know that I've heard that there has been kind of a resurgence of whales since COVID. Have you seen that like drop off, or is that still continuing? Because I know basically what they were saying is once COVID hit and the boats weren't out there, so there was less, incidents of boats hitting whales and the ocean was cleaner and the bait fish were coming back.
That's
Uh,
that's interesting. I mean, that's I don't want to say that's the first I heard of a different aspect, but we don't know. And one of the theories that I'm coming up with is, COVID did put a lot of stop on things happening. So, people weren't going out, people weren't on the water, they were housed. So there wasn't a lot of action out in the water, whether it's sightings or ship strikes, or I don't want to say ship strikes, boat strikes, any type of vessel strike. I could just say that could be to the fact of there weren't people out there. So that's a whole nother avenue of you know the research end of it. That's where citizen science comes into play with the off seasons, right? So we see a lot of whales in the summertime because us as humans, we don't mind going out on whale watching in nice weather. But who wants to go out in, frigid cold and snowy, rainy climate? Not many people. So there's not many sightings, right? So it kind of makes sense that it the whales could be there, but nobody's observing them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it makes total sense, and it also makes total sense. The whales don't care. They're
Right.
out there, probably.
That's another good point. Is that the whales, as you would observe if you go on a whale watching tour, is they're in their environment. We are in their environment. So they're kind of scoping us out. They see we're there, but in essence, they don't really care. I mean, they're doing their thing, and that's what we love to see.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, tell me a little bit more about since your father's passed. What are the new different directions that you're going in Gotham Whale, and how are you guys doing? Because I know that it was like a really, really impactful thing for yourself
Mm-hmm.
and the organization.
Yep. So yeah, that's a big one. And so what I've been experiencing with the loss and with the organization, I have taken a role of purpose, and I've been taking that purpose very seriously in the fact of understanding what it is I need to do for myself for healing, but also learning. So, Dad taught me a lot of things in my life, and I've been telling a lot of people the cliche of you don't really know what you have until you lost it type of scenario. And this is very impactful for me that my whole life I grew up around um, dad's journey. So, dad's journey was ocean life, marine life, education, and I never paid attention to that as a kid. It was always around me, it was always there, but I wasn't tapped into it. And then in the last couple years of his life, it was like an epiphany. I got it, maybe because of the sickness and understanding that it was inevitable of losing, my dad. So that kind of came full circle when a gentleman did a documentary film on my dad and depicted him as an ocean angel. And so this gentleman from Israel made a documentary film of dad and Roger Payne and Fiona Middleton that tied in sounds and communication and music. And that's all stuff that really got me. And I said, I need to get involved in that. And that's how I wanted to bring my skill set to Gotham Whale, to bring it into a different avenue of how we can connect to other people, whether it's partnership, sponsorship, friendship, any ship that won't sink.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm going to be using that.
Okay.
Any ship that sink, definitely stealing that.
Okay.
But yeah, it is amazing how much I mean, I knew your dad personally, and I was a big fan of his. But yeah, like you said, like after I met with you and I sat with you at the gala, I remember hearing about all the books that he wrote that I had no idea that he wrote. He was so accomplished and knew so much, and I just knew like a tiny little piece of that. And so yeah, like you say, it's having someone in front of you for so many years and just not knowing the full scope of who they are and what they've done and what they've accomplished. I wanted to ask you about that video. Where is it like, is it available for people to watch, and where would they find it?
That's a great question. That's something caught up with putting it out there. So when I say putting it out there, it's not available on YouTube or anything like that, and I'm holding it close to the vest for the purposes of it's not mine. It's it's the gentleman from Israel, Ran Levi Yamamore, and so it's his film, and I'm working with him on some other films that he's doing that he depicts other people as ocean's angels, and he is an advocate for the oceans, and I'm trying to develop a showing type of atmosphere, whether it's a movie night in Rockaway or different places to show the film. Now I've only shown it twice, and I've been blessed with Dad was accounted. He saw them there. It was one of the first time I debuted it. It was on my birthday, May 21st, and so Dad was there, and I've been holding that, but I want to get it out to the masses. But with the organization now, with the growing pains, it's been taking a lot of my time and focusing on building the organization. So it has taken a back burner. But this summer, I and maybe this is where, someone in Rockaway might want to pick up this ball and help me show this film. Whether I can be there or not is something that I would be looking for somebody to show the film and then show people what Gotham Whale has to offer, and or the film and my father's impact that he made on some people. And that's the other takeaway that I've been dealing with the loss is people like yourself and people that tell me the stories of how much of an impact my dad made on their life has been really putting things into a great spot for me on not feeling sad and all that. He had a great life, and what more can you ask for? That he's admired and people loved what he did and his sense of humor and all that stuff. So these stories are a healing thing that's helping me a lot too.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is amazing. I know that at the gala, when I was telling like the story of your dad being the only person that I knew that ever got bit by a nurse shark.
Those are amazing stories that in the last couple of years of his life, he was telling those stories, and no matter how many times I've heard them before, they really came to a point where I saw people loving them, and those are some of the things I want to share, and I'm glad you guys appreciated it, because there's a lot of good stories, funny stories, and stories you would have no idea that you could even believe.
Yeah.
The story of the seal in the bathtub. I don't know if you know that one, but
No, I do not. Please tell me.
So that's a story that he brought home a seal on my 10th birthday, and we are working with the illustrator to do a children's book on it. And I'm pretty sure he did the Big Whale, Big City story about Jerry the whale coming through New York and learning how to eat good food in New York. But we were doing the seal in the bathtub based on our experience of having a seal stay with us for 5 weeks in my home here in Malden, where I am. And right now, I've lived here my whole life. And we had a seal for 5 weeks in the bathtub. And sometimes it would be out in the backyard flopping around, and people would drive by and say, "What happened to the dog? Where's his legs?" So
that's amazing. Do you remember why the seal was brought there, or like were you nursing it to health? What happened?
Dad was part of the Strandings team at the at the New England Aquarium. And back then, they didn't have the staffing, or the organizations weren't in place to, care for these animals. So the aquarium was the go-to, and the programs weren't developed on how to take care of them. So they had to be fed, 24/7, and the staff had to find ways to, deal with that. And the best way to deal with it is just to adopt the seal, more or less, or, have it be under someone's care 24/7. And there was, I think it was like seven different seal pups that were washed up on the beach that did not have anyone to care for them. And they instituted a program where they went home. And, today that's not even tangible today's standards, but it happened.
Yeah, that is so crazy and so amazing that you literally grew up around a seal living in your bathtub or your house.
Yeah, at 10 years old. And I was a poet back then, and so I came up with the name of the seal was Cecil. So it's Cecil the seal that lived in the sea, that came to live with the seas worders, just like me.
Aww. That's adorable.
Yep.
That must have been such a cool experience growing up. I
Yep.
mean, I can't imagine having that type of experience as a child, and how much that set you up for the life that you have now and this nonprofit that you're now running in honor of your dad.
Yeah. It's really, the stories are great. They build off themselves, and or they don't build off themselves. They are what they are. And that story itself, I'll have to have you, read the children's book when we publish it. But it gets even more entwined, where the seal that we had mated with a talking seal, which is a famous seal, Hoover the seal, and the offspring vocalize. So we have it's 3 generations of vocalization seals that talk. So that if you do the Googler and hit Hoover the talking seal, Cecil mated with Hoover the talking seal.
Wow. That's like really, really, really incredible. That's super amazing. And I hope anyone that is listening, you check out Gotham Whale. You Google it. Find the seal that lived in a bathtub in Boston.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of good things. And again, the focus or the purpose that I've been channeling my energy towards is Gotham Whale, and getting it to a sustainable situation. There's been some great people that have had a heart to get involved, and I encourage everybody to do the same. Become a member. Membership is short money. It's like $30 to join our membership, and be aware of what we're doing. And hopefully we can create different events, whether it's movie nights. I've done a comedy thing up here in Boston. I'm looking to do something down in New York. There's a lot of good ways to connect what we're doing that doesn't really stem around whale watching, but we primarily want to focus on getting people out on the water, or at least looking out in the waters to see what's there. And that's what Dad's start in his career was based off of Jacques Cousteau, and getting involved in the undersea world life of Jacques Cousteau. And that's what came out of that is his career, and can't say enough about it.
Yeah. So if you're watching or if you're listening to this podcast later and you have any of these connections that you can make, if you can run a movie night, if you can give a free beer to people who see a new whale, if you can host a comedy show, please reach out to PJ and make that connection so that we can have these amazing things happening in Rockaway. Thank you so much for being here, PJ. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate that how you've stepped up into the role since your father has passed and have really made it your mission to keep his nonprofit alive and his legacy going.
Well, I really appreciate your involvement, your friendship, your support. I mean, it's something that I have been, meeting you down there at Beneath the Sea, and then experiencing the Rockaway Creates Gala. Something that again will stay with me for a long time.
Thank you so much. And if you're watching this now, watching it on the replay, please make sure that it gets out into the world. Like, subscribe, share this so that we can get Gotham Whale's mission out there and get the right people involved.
Many thanks.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next month on another episode of the Rockaway Creates Connection podcast.
Thank you.